walkthrough video for project 2. Part B.2, extract and display initial parameters. So what is the initial parameters? Because in our notes, I did not have chance to talk about that initial parameters. So I intentionally designed my project 2 to include this part. It is very simple, but we need to learn how to do it. Okay, all right. Yeah, so look from the requirement. Number 3, retrieve initial parameter from the web.xml. So web.xml, the configuration file, it allows us to add certain parameters. Initial, so that means when, at the initial step of the servlet, we can read these parameters into our servlet. So this way, the advantage is like this. Because web.xml, human readable file. So we do not need the Java programmers, database experts to modify the data, enter new data. Someone with just some, basic training, just understand the basic format, can do it easily. Okay, so this feature allows business people to enter data into web.xml, or provide data for, because usually web.xml, not everyone can change that. Okay, the business people can tell those people who have the responsibility to change the data in web.xml, so they can do it. All right. Here, for this example, we store 2 sets of initial parameters. One set, city, a list of cities. Second, list of tax rates. So then in our prepare servlet, we read these data items and put in request scope. Then in our input page, we retrieve from the request scope, then we display in a drop-down list. So that's what we need to do in our sample B. All right, so how to store in the web.xml. You can see here, we use the context-param element. Param-name, first we need to give it a name. Second, we give value. So this is the value, string value. Okay, string value. We have a list of cities separated by commas. Because in our servlet, we will use these commas as delimiters to split the string into a string array. All right. For the text rates, we use the similar way. Okay. The parameter name, text rates. Okay. Then the parameter values like that. Okay. Here, just simulation. So not necessary exact tax rates for those 3 cities. I just put some random numbers. All right. Then next, we need to retrieve these numbers in our servlet. In order to retrieve these numbers, here in the do get method. So I do this in the do get method. Yeah. In this sample B in do get method. Yeah. Later I will do it in init in this method. Yeah. In our sample D, I will do in this method. Yeah. So this one I do in this method. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So first we get a servlet context object. This refers to the servlet. Okay. Servlet. So we get servlet context. We get this object. So the servlet context contains the context. So what's the context? Yeah. All the resources of this web application are organized in the context object. So we can access all the resources. Yeah. Yeah. So then using this CTX object, we call get init parameter cities. So we retrieve that cities as a string cities. Yeah. Tax rates, the parameter name, we get string rates. Next, we use the comma as the delimiter, split the string into a string array. City ARR string array. Yeah. Because in our input page, we do not need to put the tax rate data, right? So the user just select a city. We do not need to show the tax rates, sales tax rates to our users. Yeah. When we do the calculation, we need a tax rate. Yeah. But for the input page, we do not need a tax rates. Yeah. Then we store the city string array under the attribute key cities in the request scope. So then we use request dispatcher. We need to display it in the input.jsp. Then we use the forward method. Send it to input.jsp. Yeah. Then to display the data, input.jsp, first we retrieve data from the request scope with key cities, get attribute. Okay. Then we need to cast it to string array because it's an object. So we need to cast it to a string array. Yeah. After that, we use a for loop to create drop-down list using the select element. Yeah. For loop, yeah, through all the items in the string array cities. Yeah. Then we display for each option, we display the display value, the city name, then the value, all right? Yeah, the value part, index of the array element. Yeah. Later, when we submit the form, we need to send this index to order servlet, to another servlet called order servlet. In order servlet, after we get the index I, this time we need to use the tax rate. Tax rate, remember? So we will do the same thing. The tax rate string split into string array, right? String array. Then the tax rate array I, yeah, because this index, we have this I value, so we can get the tax rate number. Then we do the calculation. Yeah. Okay, yeah. But that's in our sample D. Sample D, we will do that. Sample C, we do the database part. Yeah. This one, we do not need to use the database part. So the sample C, we need to get a product information from the database in our sample C. Yeah. So this one, we just display city information. Yeah. So that's all we need. Okay. All right. Yeah. So next, let me show you the demo. Yeah. So pretty straightforward. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So my project to sample B. Yeah. So you can see, yeah, I already explained everything in the slides. So now we do not need to look at these files. Okay. Yeah. So we have everything. Yeah. Now I just run the project. We want to see the result. Okay. Sample B. Run it. Yeah. Just sample B. All right. Yeah, so you see, the interface is very simple, but we retrieve the data. Okay. Yeah. So, drop down list 3 cities. Okay. Yeah. Here you can see, after retrieve the initial parameters, we print it out. Okay. Yeah. System.out. Yeah. We print these 2 lines. Then here we get that. Yeah. Order, because we don't have the order function. So that's it. That's all we have. So if you click order, nothing happens because we don't have it. We don't have the resource. You click, probably you will get an error. Yeah, because the server is not there, right? Yeah. All right, so I do not click. All right. So that's it. Yeah. So I stop this video. Then we work on the next one, sample C.